know it was the last thing on my mind. As we walk, my thoughts are tumbling round and round, round and round. Underneath our feet the subways are rumbling, underground, underground. Are you going away with no word of farewell? Will there be not a trace left behind? Well, I could have loved you better, didn't mean to be unkind. You know it was the last thing on my mind. You've got reasons aplenty for going. This I know, this I know. For the weeds have been steadily growing. Please don't go, please don't go. Sing it with me. Are you going away with no word of farewell? Will there be not a trace left behind? I could have loved you better, didn't mean to be unkind. You know it was the last thing on my mind. As I lie in my bed in the morning, without you, every song in my breast dies a-born-in. Without you, without you. Are you going away with no word of farewell? Will there be not a trace left behind? Well, I could have loved you better, didn't mean to be unkind. You know it was the last thing on my mind. Oh, good evening, everyone. The Last Thing on My Mind by the great Tom Paxton, the wonderful folk singer, songwriter, and social justice activist. Still alive, still with us. He's 82 years old. He's going to turn 83 in exactly a month on Halloween. He was born October 31st, 1937 in Chicago, Illinois. I've done two other great folk singers from there, John Prine and Steve Goodman. So he actually grew up elsewhere, but that was his birthplace. So he has a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award to recognize his contributions to music. That first song, he based it loosely on the melody of the great Clancy Brothers song, "The Leavin' of Liverpool." So, "Leavin' of Liverpool" goes. So it's just got a lot of similarity to it. So, and it's interesting because I was reading an article about the folk scene in Greenwich Village where Tom Paxton was very active, and it was talking about the fact that for a long time, especially in the late 50s, early 60s, there was a kind of a lot of idea of folk purism, and that you were only going to do traditional music that came from unknown sources and had been played in the mountains and rural areas of the United States, and came over from the British Isles or whatever, and it was discouraged that anybody would sing their own compositions or write new folk songs. And Tom Paxton was one of the first people to change that. And I think maybe this song was sort of a transition where he took an older melody and made it into a new song. In fact, the story I read about Greenwich Village was a lot of the folk singers, when they did have a song that they wrote, they would lie and say, "Oh, I learned this from an old singer in the hills of Virginia or something," or they would say it was a traditional song even though it wasn't. So, all right. So Tom Paxton. This next song is special because it was a favorite of two of our members of the Solidarity sing-along who have passed away, Barb and Ray. So I'm going to sing it for them. We sang this song for Barb when she was in hospice, when she was dying at a Grace, and she was always cheerful and wanted to sing along, and yeah, so. He was a man and a friend always. He stuck with me in the hard old days. He never cared if we had no dough. We'd ramble round in the rain and snow. So here's to you, my rambling boy. May all your rambling bring you joy. Oh, here's to you, my rambling boy. May all your rambling bring you joy. In Tulsa town we chanced to stray. We thought we'd look for work one day. The boss, he said he'd room for one. Says my old pal, we'd rather bum. So here's to you, my rambling boy. May all your rambling bring you joy. Here's to you, my rambling boy. May all your rambling bring you joy. 'Twas late one night in the jungle camp. The weather, it was cold and damp. He got the chills and he got 'em bad. I lost the only friend I had. So here's to you, my rambling boy. May all your rambling bring you joy. Oh, here's to you, my rambling boy. May all your rambling bring you joy. He left me here to ramble on. My rambling pal is dead and gone. If when we die we go somewhere, I'll bet you $1 he's rambling there. So here's to you, my rambling boy. May all your rambling bring you joy. And here's to you, my rambling boy. May all your rambling bring you joy. Thank you, Barb and Ray, stalwarts at the sing-along. And thank you to the Solidarity Sing-Along, because it brought a lot of us together to fight for justice and to sing songs together and learn a lot of the good old songs and learn a lot of new songs too, so wonderful. All right, let's see here. It's kind of funny to me because I like math and symmetry and stuff like that, and it turns out that the 3 songs I'm doing tonight each have 4 verses, and the keys I'm doing them in are the 1, 4, 5 of the key of G. So that would be G, C, and D. So just kind of funny. All right, the last one, fun song, been covered by lots of people. It's called Bottle of Wine, and if you listen, I posted a version that Tom does live. He performed a lot in France, and he ended up learning to sing the chorus in French, so I can't possibly do it, but it's kind of cool when he does. So It ended up being a top 10 hit for a band called the Fireballs in 1967. Top 10 on the Billboard pop charts, so kind of funny. I was lucky enough to go see Tom Paxton just a few years ago on a double bill with another great folk singer, Janice Ian, down at the Stoughton Opera House. So it was a wonderful show, and I know that he is performing just a very little bit these days, but he was, a great performance that he did, and of course they did a few songs together at the end. So, all right, Bottle of Wine, sing along. I know all the words to these, but I still have to just get out the book, and in case I suddenly have a brain fart, as they say. So. Bottle of wine, fruit of the vine, when you gonna let me get sober? Leave me alone, let me go home, let me go back and start over. Rambling around this dirty old town, singing for nickels and dimes. Time's getting rough and I can't find enough to buy me a bottle of wine. Bottle of wine, fruit of the vine, when you gonna let me get sober? Leave me alone, let me go home, let me go back and start over. Little hotel, older than hell, dark as a coal in a mine. The blankets are thin, but I lay here and grin, 'cause I got me a bottle of wine. Bottle of wine, fruit of the vine, when you gonna let me get sober? Leave me alone, let me go home, let me go back and start over. That's the wrong part. Pain in my head, bugs in my bed, pants are so old that they shine. Out on the street, ask the people I meet, won't you buy me a bottle of wine? Bottle of wine, fruit of the vine, when you gonna let me get sober? Leave me alone, let me go home, let me go back and start over. Preacher will preach, teacher will teach, the miner will dig in a mine. Well, I ride the rods, trusting in God and hugging my bottle of wine. Bottle of wine, fruit of the vine, when you gonna let me get sober? Leave me alone, let me go home, let me go back and start over. Bottle of wine, fruit of the vine, when you gonna let me get sober? Leave me alone, let me go home, let me go back and start over. All right, it's funny. I was talking about the first song, Last Thing on My Mind, being similar to the Leaving of Liverpool. Well, the other night I was trying to start the Dylan song, Buckets of Rain, and I ended up starting a Bottle of Wine, and I realized that they're very similar too. So, buckets of rain, buckets of tears, got all them buckets coming out of my ears. So, Dylan stole from Paxton, Paxton stole from Clancy Brothers stole from who knows who, so it's what makes music and culture and all that. So, all right, I hope you're all doing well. It's kind of I'm in Michigan, and it's kind of a cold and rainy, dark night here, but music makes it a little cheerier. What's up next, or who's up next? Show number 62 is coming up. It's going to be the Canadian singer Gordon Lightfoot, and I believe he is either 81 or 82. I'll be doing Sundown, Early Morning Rain, which was a big hit for, I think, Judy Collins and some other folks. And then I'm going to do the wreck of the Something Fitzgerald. I won't do the whole Edmund Fitzgerald. That's about 10 verses. But I am going to do the version that my friend Peter Lighty wrote for the sing-along, the wreck of the Brothers Fitzgerald, all about the disaster that happened back in 2010 with Governor Walker and the Fitzgerald brothers, who controlled the Republican Assembly and Senate. and wreaked havoc on our lovely state. So, hope you can join me. I'm not sure if that'll be Saturday or Sunday. I'll let you know. So, take care, everyone. I love you. Thanks for listening.